my channel. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Nancy. This is Nancy's Handcrafted Creations. Today we are going to make a Valentine couple, Lyle and Lily. They turned out so cute. It took me a while. I struggled with Lily's hair. I tried fur, I tried different things, and it just didn't look right. And I just came up with this idea. It wasn't even hair. I had seen it on Pinterest. It was like I don't know if it was a dream catcher or whatever, but it just had a lot of materials, you know, that was ripped and shredded, and strings and stuff, and it looked really cool. And that's what, and it hit me, that's what I need to do for her hair. So I'm going to show you how I did it. It was very easy, and you can use any threads, strings, yarns, anything that you have material. So I'm going to go over all that. It's going to be a no-sew and a hot glue. So I have some subscribers that are asking for that. So this is going to be very easy. And if we have to glue the hat, I will show you how. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to join my crafting community. And you click on that subscribe button and click on the bell, and then that will notify you each time I upload a new video. But you must have your notifications turned on in your settings for that to happen. If you have subscribed to my channel, thank you very, very much for supporting me and joining my crafting community and my channel. I love you guys for supporting me. It has been a year, January 20th, since 2021, since I uploaded my first video on YouTube. And there's been some struggles. I got my channel shut off. I'm still not monetized. I don't know why, and I can't find out. So it's very frustrating. But I love you guys for supporting me, and I love making videos for you. If you have any questions or anything, leave them in the comments. And if you like what you see, click on that like button, because that tells me that you guys want to see more like this. If you have any suggestions for me, let me know. Any questions on anything I've used or made, I will try to leave in the description box. There probably won't be a PDF because there really isn't much of a pattern for this. But I'm going to go over that with you. So let's get crafting. Okay, so let's get started in making Lyle and Lily. And we're first going to do their bodies. I've got one done already, and we're going to do the other one. And I need to cut a piece. I thought I had it all. I thought I had this already, you guys. It's like every time, and I've been cleaning and I knew I had it. I knew, because I'm running out of my gray. Okay, so we're going to take, this is the right side, you're going to take the wrong side up. This is about a 14 inch square. And I stuffed my sock. I put my, either you can put a piece of cardboard in there, which is about 3 inch diameter, 2 3/4. And I just pour rice in the bottom. And then I stuff it. So it depends on how big your sock is. I use kids socks from the Dollar Tree. They have some different sizes. If you use a men's sock, it's going to be huge. So you want to keep it, it depends on how big you want it. If it's going to be big, you're going to need a bigger piece for the body. So I usually take, and we're going to stuff this a little bit more. And then when we get to doing the head, if we have to take some out or add some, we can do that. So we're not going to close this up until we get ready to put the hat on. So I stuff it, and it depends on if you want a fatter one or if you want a skinny one. So I'm going to take my corners and bring them up. First, I'm going to get my thread. So get your thread ready. And I try to use a crochet thread, and I always double it so it's fairly long. So we're going to take and bring our corners up. So this is going to be the front. So I want a corner in the front and the back, one on each side. And then you're going to bring in these other parts, and you're going to make sure you have a hold of everything. And then you're going to take your thread, you're going to lay it over. So this is the back. You're going to lay it over like this, and you're going to wrap one around. It's hanging down in the front. You're going to wrap it to the back. So you got one on each side. Okay, let me show you again. So you've got it like this. You're going to take this thread, wrap it to the back, this one, and wrap it to the back, opposite sides. And then you're going to tighten that. Not like that. Don't do that. Okay, let's try this again. See, I make mistakes too. Okay, so make sure you got everything. Put that over the back, pull it up one side and then the other side. And then you can move your thread up a little bit. Just make sure you have all of your ends tucked in. So don't tie a knot, just tie it. And that's what I didn't do, and tighten it. And then we can pull these up a little bit now. And I'm going to try and move my string up. I'm just going to grab my finger underneath that string and pull it up so it can be a little bigger, a little taller. And you can do that with a needle nose pliers. If you don't want to, if you can't get your finger under there, just take it and get it underneath here and just pull it up. If he gets too small, or she. Okay, so now we're going to knot this off. So we do a surgeon's knot, which is looped over 3 times, or you can just do it twice and then pull it. And then I do a regular knot. So now when you cut this excess off, save this, because we are going to use it for their arms. We can use it for her hair too. And I'm really going to try to make this not a long video. So I know some of you guys don't like it, some don't mind. So now he's got a kind of a tall head, so we're going to take some of that out. And then I'm going to take some of these gathers with my needle nose pliers and pull some of those up just to make sure that they don't escape, if I said that right, just so they don't get, they don't come out and come undone. And I always try to make sure my gathers are kind of even, but that's just me. You can, however you want to make it. And then you just try to find out what the front and the back is. And then cut this excess off, because if you don't cut enough of it off, you'll have all that bulk underneath the hat, and then your hat will be really have to be really big. And you can save this because we can use this for the arms. Okay, so I have this one done. So now I'm going to show you the nose. So we got this stretch knit fabric that I get from JoAnn's. It's like a swimsuit material. It's really stretchy, and there is a right and a wrong side. So I preferred like the shinier side, and I put it over my hands like this. So I have it like this, and then I'm just going to take and stuff in here. So now I put my fingers together and stuff that in there. So as little or as much as you want. I like the bigger noses. And I'm going to do a video because I have some other ways of doing noses also, so I want to do a video on that. So now you're going to take this and you have it like this. You're going to grab all of it. Make sure you have all the ends. Now you're going to take your string, you got another long piece, and you're going to wrap the ends around, and you're going to grab both of them and tighten them up, and then just take one, and I always kind of try to find out which one is the longest one, and wrap that around about 3 more times, and then pull them up so you have all your ends are, your loops are tightened. And now you can just leave it. When you wrap it around a few more times, then it really locks it in place. So then you can leave it there if you have to. So now we're going to do a knot. Tighten that. And this is where you're going to pull this and you're going to kind of shape it. I like the flatter, wider noses, not so much the round ones. And that's just me. So however you want, if you want to use just a wooden ball, you can do that too. So however you want to do your noses, if you want to use a nylon, I used to use nylon when I first started out. So you can sit here and shape it. And I'm just trying to get it so it looks nice, because I think this is going to be for, this might be Lyle's. Okay, so now we have it the way we want it. We're going to take our thread and bring it over the nose and hang on to it like this. And then you're going to take just like this, and you're going to cut about 1/4 inch away from your thread. So you don't cut your thread, don't cut that off, and then so you don't cut this, okay? So now we're going to put this on, and you're going to wrap it around there where their neck is, where those gathers are. And if you can get your thread around from the front back to the back, that's what I always do. And then do your surgeon's knot. That's just a really secure knot when you loop it over that many times. I have used it in other projects too. And then you can cut that excess off. Okay, so let me go over how I did their arms. I'm gonna set that down there for right now. So this is how their arms are. So you're gonna need I'm trying not to lose, I got Lily's hair all cut and stuff. So you're gonna need 1 pipe cleaner, and you're going to fold it in half and then just twist it together. And then what we're gonna do, I had my beads, and now I have to find them. Oh, I know, there. I got them right under here, underneath my little table thing. So you're gonna get, if it doesn't have a hole, I use the ones that have a hole. Just because it works out, I can take these ends and put it in the little hole, and it protects it so it's not, so you don't have the sharp ends. And we're going to cut this, probably cut it about there. So the length of your arm depends on how long you want it. So now we're going to take, and you're going to put a little glue right by the hole, and it doesn't have to go in. And you're going to take where the sharp ends are. This is where we fold. There's a better word. I say folded, and I don't think that's a word. Okay. And now, and I kind of got ahead of myself. So we're going to take, this is a very easy way if you want to do your arms. This is what it looks like with the seam. That doesn't bother me. So it's not going to fray. So what you're going to do is you're going to take some glue and you're going to run it down the one edge. And then you're going to lay your pipe cleaner. So you're going to leave about, oh, maybe more than 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch or so of the pipe cleaner. So you're going to do it like this. Okay? So that's how we want the arm, because we're going to cover this with a part of the sweater. And I had all my stuff, and then I've been moving, and I've been cleaning, and then I lose stuff, and it's just like, I had it here. So let me cut a piece of this sweater. And you don't need a very big piece. And then you're going to take, if you have some tiny rubber bands, they have the colored ones at the Dollar Tree. And I'm trying to find my container. And I don't know where it went. Like I said, I've been trying to clean. Here it is. I really am trying to get organized again. So this is what I buy. And I get these at the dollar store. They must be, I don't know, but I can pull this thing and it's not going to break. Once in a while, yeah, it does break on me. Okay, so what we're going to do first, let me make sure you guys can see good. I'm going to bring you a little closer. And probably have to tilt this down. So we're going to take and we're going to roll this up until you want this edge. And you know what I did? I have the wrong side of the fabric out. So I'm just going to cut that off. And I'm going to glue it again. So it doesn't matter. This is just going to go inside the arm. I'm going to try to cut more of that off though. And then there's going to be one big arm and one small arm. Okay, so make sure you get it on the wrong side. We're doing the wrong side. So put our strip of glue again. You're going to lay your pipe cleaner down. Make sure you have a little bit of the pipe cleaner sticking out beyond the edge of the fabric, okay? So just like that. And now we're going to roll this up. And you're going to tuck that end under. And you're going to hang on to it like this. And then you're going to put glue right here on that edge. And then you're going to roll it over. And then just press that down. And we're going to cut that off. And then we're going to cut this excess off. And we need a little bit more glue at the wrist. So that's how I did the arm. And I'm going to clean this edge up here some more. And this is going to be seam side down on the gnome, so you're not going to really see it. And you could try to sew glue that, you know, with wrong sides together and turn it inside out, but it doesn't really work very good that way. So this is just an easier way. So now we're going to take, and I just got part of a red sweater, and I cut a square, a little less than 3 inches, and you're going to take and put it over the ball, and you're going to have a rubber band ready. Doesn't matter what color, because we're going to cut it off if it shows. And I'll just use, I don't want to use a black one because those are the different, it's like a rubber band, but these other ones I don't know what they're made out of. So you're going to take and put a rubber band around there a couple times. You can get those around 3 times, and just make sure you have it down so it's like that. Okay, And then we're going to take some of our leftover thread and we're going to wrap it around. And I think I only have one, so you don't need very much. And you're going to make sure that when we knot it off, it's knotted not on this side, not where the seam is, but on the top side. And I just do tie it and then just do a knot. I don't do a surgeon's knot. And then I'm going to take, because you can see my rubber band, so I'm going to cut that off because I have my string on there now, and we just want to be careful we don't cut our sweater or the string. And then if you feel like you need to, you can do it, wrap it around again and tie it, and tie a knot. Just make sure that your little tie, your knot is on the opposite side as your seam of the arm. And then just cut that excess off. And now we're going to cut this off. So try to cut as close, but first you want to go under here, turn this back and put a little bit of glue so we can, we don't have to worry about that pipe cleaner showing if we bend his arm or his wrist or whatever. So now you're going to just take and cut to about 1/4 of an inch from that thread, that string that we wrapped around. And you can cut as much as you want. If you want to leave it longer, you can leave it longer. So those are the arms. And then what I did for the feet, because we have feet. Let's see. So what I did for the feet, and I probably glued them all together. So I'll just cut a piece here and I'll show you how I did it. So you can just take 2 squares and you're gonna have where you got one side, it doesn't matter, this, I mean, you want this to be nice and straight. And like I said, there's not gonna be really a pattern because it's just cutting this kind of shape. So I kind of start here and cut it bigger to start with because we're gonna glue these 2 together. And then if you have to cut it smaller, you can cut it smaller. So these ones I have already done. So then you're just going to take, and let me make sure you're close enough. So now we're just going to take glue and we're going to go along the edges. Don't go really close to the edge because it might squirt out, but it'll be fine if it does. And then go in the middle. So that's what you want, okay? And then we're going to take both of these and glue them together. And you're going to press down really lightly. And then if you need to, you can trim it up. So it looks even all the way around. And there's their feet. If you want to do a few more layers of that, you can. But I just wanted to make this really easy for you guys. So now we're going to set these aside. And then we're going to work on, we're going to do his beard. Let's get his beard on. So we're just going to take, I'm going to move these guys out of the way. So we're just going to take and we're going to cut the backing. We don't need a really long beard. So you just cut the backing of the fur. I never have any problems when I'm cutting with the scissors. I just don't think I could use the X-Acto knife. And then we're just going to cut, I'm going to cut that a little shorter. And then you're just going to cut a little U shape in here for his nose. And I have to see who I want. I think he's going to be, this can be, oh, that's too small. I made that way too small. So now I'm going to cut another piece because that's not wide enough. Okay, so I'm going to go up at an angle like this. I know I was cutting it wrong when I started. And then I always try to pull off the extra fur and get that out of the way so it's not all over my work table. And then cut your U shape. There we go. And then you're going to take and you're going to put glue. You're going to put glue right here. And I probably need to back you up because you're probably too close. Okay, so put some glue right here. And then lift his nose up and make sure you get the gathers of the nose underneath the beard. And then take and glue the little tabs right up next side, right alongside of his nose. And then pull them and press them in. And there we have his beard. That looks good. Okay, so let's get, I'm going to get his, I'll show you how I'm just going to do his arms. So you're just going to want to figure out where you want them and how long you want them to be. Okay, so I'm going to glue, and you can, if you need to put like a pin so you remember where you want it to be, how long. And I did the pipe cleaner so that you can make his arm bendable. So it's very easy. You can do this with any gnome. If you wanted longer arms or whatever, you can do that. So then you're just going to take a little bit of glue on there, and then you're going to glue it right by the side alongside of his neck. Just like that. Okay? So there's his arms. And we're going to do her hair, I think, before we do her arms. So let me get this stuff set aside. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I used for her hair. I used so many different things. And let me just see if I can grab it because I've got it all laid out here already. So this is what I've used. Some of it I had yarn, but I didn't use the yarn in the first one. So I'm just trying to make sure these are all kind of even. And I took some fabric. I took this that I got from Hobby Lobby. It's craft cord. And I took and cut a piece. And I will show you quick. So I took a piece and I untwisted it. So it takes a little bit to untwist it. And then you can pull those apart. There's like 3 sections in here, kind of. So now we can pull those apart. And then what I did, because I have a cat. If you don't have a cat, you probably don't have this brush. Then I took my cat's brush after I cleaned it and brushed this so it separated this thread. And you could just use this for hair, but this, you have to have it so it's this kind, so it's twisted for it to do this, to separate it, so it, because it has that many threads. And you can buy these at Walmart or any place. You can get them at the dollar store. And that's what I used. So I just separated some of that out, and I used I don't know if I used this, but you could use this. This is, I mean, if I pull this apart, it's kind of like a netting, but it's a yarn. I got it at the dollar store about 2 years ago. And I used some tinsel thread. I used some of this. And I had some of this cording kind of yarn string. I don't know where it came from. And I used some embroidery floss. I used a couple different kinds of that. I've got it in front of me. I've got this variegated cotton yarn. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby. And so I just took all of those, and I took my fabric and I cut it into little strips. Well, I just cut it first. So I cut it about not even a 1/2 inch. And you have to cut it like about 1 inch long so you can rip it. And that's, let's do this other side. So it takes a little bit to get that thin of a strip. I'm going to cut a bigger piece so I can get going here. Like I said, it took me a little bit to get it. And then I would take and pull these extra threads off. So it doesn't matter if you have a lot of fringe, because that's just going to add to the, I'm just going to say beauty. The beauty of the hair. It's just going to add to the charm and the, yeah, I don't know how I want to say it, but so I would do maybe 3 or 4 of those. And I just picked out the colors because I had the gray as their main color. So I just tried to find like some grays and stuff like that that would go with her body color. So you can do a few of those. So this is what I have. And just lay it down, you know, don't put all of the same kind in the same spot. And then what we're going to do, we can even add some of these to it. Okay, so then we're going to take, and we'll just take this yarn here, and you're going to get a couple of pieces, and you want it to find your middle, and so lay those down. Let me get this out of the way. So lay those down, lay them down, and then you don't want them very far away because you got to have enough for her little pigtails. So you're going to do it right about there, and then we're going to tie these off and we're going to cut. So tie these in a knot. And you can leave them because they'll just add to her hair. And get that one kind of close, but leave enough so you can cut it. So probably about 1 inch, maybe a little bit more than 1 inch. And then you're going to cut right in the middle. So we have it just like this, okay? And that's long, but we can cut it. And then here's her other one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take some more of our rubber bands. And you can use whatever color because we're going to kind of cover it up. I tried to get my red, but like I said, I seen them at the Dollar Tree because I was there today. And if I have them, I had little bows that I had already cut or made. But we'll make bows for her hair because I don't know what I did with them. Oh, there they are. Oh, there's one. Okay, so I have one. So now you're going to take, and you can take a couple of them. And we're going to figure out how long we're going to need. So we're going to glue this up alongside of her nose, more up on her head, so that it comes down to about here. So we're going to go, so figure out how long, because we have to cut some of this off. Let me get this done and I'll show you. And I wouldn't cut it off until you're really sure that's how short you're going to get, or how long you want it. And then if you have to move it down, we can glue this right there. So then we can have a little piece for her bow. And if you have a thread that is kind of coming out, just pull on it to see where it is, and then you can pull it down there like that. Okay, so let's get the other one done. And if you just want to tie that off with something, you can do that too. But I just like using the rubber bands. So you could just tie it off with thread. If you wanted just some red ribbon, you could do that too. That would probably be easier. And then we're just going to make sure those are the same. And then we're going to cut them. And then we're going to glue these up alongside of her nose. So make sure you get that knot up far enough so it's covered. And then you're gluing the end that doesn't have the rubber band. It goes up by her nose. Like I said, if you want to tie it off with the ribbon or thread, you can do it that way too. And there is her hair. And I have one little bow, and I'll make another one. And just put a little bit of glue, and then glue that. I've got a low temp glue gun, so I'm just gluing it like right on the rubber band. So this is how I make a bow. I'm going to leave it attached. I don't have much left on here. And I'm going to take and make like 2 bunny ears. And then I'm going to tie them together like I'm going to make a bow, just like that. And then you can make it as big or as small as you want. And then cut your ends. And then put a little glue on. And glue that on. And then we can take and we can glue their feet on. And her arms. So let me just take a quick break and glue her arms and feet on, and then I'll come back and show you how to glue his on. Okay, I was videotaping and it stopped. So I don't know if you got to see how I glued his feet on. So what I did was I lined his feet up on the table. Let's see if I have. So if these were his feet, these gray ones, I put glue right here by the back edge and had them, if you want them like this or if you want them pointing out, I like them pointing out. And then I put the glue there, and then I picked his beard up and set him so his feet are right on the front edge of his body, just like that, and then set and let it dry. Okay. So, and then I was gluing his beard on, and I thought I should check my camera, and it's a good thing I did because it had stopped. So I will show you on her. So I got the back of his glued, and we have to make sure that we cover his arms. And then you're going to pick this up by the nose and get a little bit of glue on there. And make sure you don't drip on your nose. And then glue the sides. Make sure you get it glued really good by his beard. Okay, so I will show you on her for her hat. And like I was saying before, I knew that my phone had shut off, my camera. I'm using the sleeve for these ones because this one I had used the body of the sweater and I didn't have much. So we're going to take some stuffing out of her head. And I'm not even going to tie that off. I'm not even going to worry about it. Well, I might cut it off. Okay, I'll rubber band it. But I'm not going to tie it with string because I'm not too worried about it. Just like that. And I'm going to take and put her hat on. And we're going to make sure it goes over her nose. So we're going to flip her because the seams on the sweater are going to go on the side of her. So we're going to flip this over. Flip that up, and you're going to put glue, quite a bit of glue here because we have to make sure we cover the sleeves. And then get your hands in here in this little cuff part and turn that down and hold it and press it. Okay, so now we have covered up her arms. And now we're going to do her nose. We're going to put a little glue on her nose. And you're going to lift this up and just put a little bit of glue on the nose. And then press that down. And then glue it along the side of her. And then make sure that you glue it so that it covers up so you can't see underneath it. So somebody doesn't see all your work you're not supposed to. And there she is. So now we're going to take and we're going to tie these off. And then we're going to cut them. So we're just going to tie it off with some of our white thread. So you can leave it as short or as long as you want to. And I'm probably going to cut mine shorter. We'll see. And then just do your surgeon's knot. And then you can leave those kind of long if you want. And then we're going to put a heart on there. So we're just going to take and cut this in strips, and I'm probably going to cut the seam of the hat out because I don't really want that showing. And then just cut strips. You can do this before got very good scissors. My scissors are... So we're just kind of making like a tassel. These are old scissors. I don't know where my other ones are, right here. Let's see, we're gonna have it go this way. So there's hers. And now we'll do his. His is really big. So just take and tie this off, however long, short you want your tassel. I'm going to cut these seams out first because they're just too bulky, and my other one is over here. So you just cut those pieces in strips. So just like this, you can cut it as long, as wide, as short. If you want to use and make a fleece hat, if you don't have a sweater, you can do that just like I do in my other videos. Okay, so I had bought these hearts and they came in these really cool shapes, just like that. And we're going to use those on their hats. Okay, and you guys are good. So I'm just going to take 2 of them. For hers, I'm going to do a pink and a red. And I'm just going to put hot glue on the red one. And center that in the middle. And then for his, I'm just going to do a wood one and a red heart. So these were only $1. And then we're just going to glue these on their hats, right by the tassel. I gotta make sure I'm putting it on the right gnome. So right there, and I might cut some of his tassel. I think it looks a little long. There. And same with hers. Cut hers shorter. And then glue hers on. We're gonna have their hats going the opposite. And there's, they have stickers. I used some foam ones on my first ones that I got at, these white ones I got at Walmart. They were really thick hearts. So they have all these pretty red, pink, wooden ones, wood colored. And I got glue strings. I didn't put my glue in the freezer. Put your glue sticks in the freezer for a few minutes, and that will help so you don't get strings. Okay, so then we're going to take, and I do have a set of lips. I cut my lips out before from felt, but they do have these package of buttons, and these were at Hobby Lobby, and they might have been, they were backed by the scrapbooking paper and stuff like that. And it's a button, so you just cut that shank off the back, and then we can glue it on his nose, and I'm going to do it. And I gotta make sure I'm gluing it on the right one. So just like that. I like the little kiss. And I made this sign. They had these at the dollar store. It was all these little wooden cutouts. And it has kiss me and then the Cupid and the heart. So I just took the sticker off of the back of the kiss me, because it came with the little white sticker. And then they had these clothespin heart little signs. So I just took and so I just removed that white little sticker. And then when I just put hot glue on the back side, just on like part of the letters. And it might seep through a little bit, but you're not going to see it. If you, I mean, you see mine a little bit, but so there we go. And so he's got to have a little heart on his beard. And I got those stickers at the Dollar Tree, and I like the ones with the little cut out where the heart is cut out. And we're going to do that right there. And she has some hearts in the middle, so I did that for her, these stickers. So I just centered it. She's got a big old gather there. And then I got one more, and then do a little one in the middle. So there's hers. And then she had, I made, let's see if I have them all. All these little heart picks came in a package from the dollar store. They got some really cool Valentine stuff this year, you guys. And I took and I wrote on there, love you, my girl, kisses and hugs. And I just wrapped it with some ribbon and tied it off. And I'm just going to glue that to his arm. So much for a short video. And then we'll just let that sit there. And then she has one, and I had to cut them shorter. And then she'll have hers. She'll hang on to hers. And she is going to, I'm just going to clip this, I think, to her hand somehow. Or we could clip it to her hat, but I don't know. We'll just do something like this. Let's have it on her arm. And then I'm going to glue, I have these hearts. I might have gotten these ones. They kind of got metal back at Hobby Lobby. So I'm just going to glue a couple of those on their hats in a few different spots. I think there's like maybe two different sizes. So like that. These ones I didn't add on the first ones. Try to find the better ones. So go look at Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby. They have a lot of cool stuff for Valentine's Day. And I'm trying to make sure I got everything. And they do have these stickers. These are from Dollar Tree, and it says love. And we could put that on his beard too, right there. And let me get my stuff out of the way. So go check out and find some cool supplies. And if you're out and about, go see if you can find a thrift store and find a pretty red sweater. And make yourself some Valentine gnomes. And here's the first set. So this is Lyle and Lily. And we want their hats to go the opposite way. So thank you guys for joining me today. I think his went. I don't want to cooperate. Thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions, leave them in the description box below and I will answer them. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to click on that subscribe button and hit that notification bell, and that will notify you each time I upload a new video. If you already have subscribed, thank you for supporting my channel and joining my crafting community. It has been 1 year since January 20th, since I started my YouTube channel, and I am up to about 5,600 subscribers. I am going to be doing a giveaway. I promise, very soon. And with Christmas and stuff like that, it was just a little hard and just a lot of stuff going on lately. So, but here are our Valentine gnomes. Thank you guys for joining me today. Love you. See you in the next